All right, gang, how's it going? Welcome to the live stream watch-a-thon of Rocky Point Season 1, where it all started back when I marched cadets in 2014. I'm just making sure you can hear me, making sure everything is good. I'm keeping an eye on the chat over here, just in case there are questions or whatever. And at any point, my setup might fail. Never done this before, so thought this would be fun. So here we are. Turning the volume down on the other device that's watching right now. So we're gonna wait a few seconds to see if we got some more people that show up. If not, we're just gonna dive right in and get started. So is this level of me speaking pretty good right now? Is everything good? Okay, all right. I'll take the silence as a resounding yes. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna test it for myself. So, is this level of me speaking pretty good right now? Is everything good? Okay. All right. Cool. Um, Sounds fine to me. Okay. So we're gonna get started. Now, all of these episodes are pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? Raw. They're not very good quality. Some of you would say they look like they were filmed on a potato. I was just making sure I could upload at a time when like 3G for me was like maximum. 4G hadn't existed. I was still on US Cellular, and the only places we could upload were places that had Wi-Fi, and that was scarce in between. And I had not figured out this whole video on a phone thing yet, and I was still using a Samsung Galaxy S3, had not gone to the iPhone iMovie route. So here we are, episode 1, day 0, move-ins, with, this is my second year at the Cadets. So here we go. Bum 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 ba-da-dum. Hey, I'm Rocky, and this is Rocky Point. I'm a mellophone at the Cadets, and today is move-in day 2014. And we're leaving Virginia. Isn't that right, Alex?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this whole time I just assumed that there was going to be, I could have time to edit in all of these effects and whatnot, and that was definitely not the case at all. As it goes on, it's just kind of like raw video. This first one was the only time I really had time to do the kind of like clap effects and all the other crazy stuff. But yeah, Alex was, as I mentioned, my best friend from high school, and he played the baritone saxophone. He was legit. Still is. We don't get to really see each other much now, but the cool thing about a lot of either the people I grew up with that I was really good friends with, or even the cadets, is we can go long periods of time without seeing each other, and we can kind of pick up right back where we left off. So it's a lot of fun. So yeah, let's continue.
We are.
See, Alex is my best friend from like middle school and high school, so we go way back, and he was with me in marching band, and I want someone else to ride up with me this move-in day for spring training. So we're going to the University of Pittsburgh in Johnstown. I guess today is technically day 0 because we don't rehearse today, but it is move-in day, May the 13th, 2014. And there's my mom, happily driving us the 6 hours to UPJ. So we'll catch up with you guys when we get there. Now, what really gets me is like, why did no one tell me that like I needed to grow a beard? My face, I mean, it looks much better with facial hair. If I mean, that's just me. I go back and look at these and I kind of go, ooh, I kind of shudder a little bit. So, oh, and Emily Kate, hi. Oh, how you doing, Emily? It's good to see that you're here at the stream. We're gonna keep going unless you have any specific questions. But it's nice to see you're here and watch it. Awesome. Let's keep going. Hey, we finally arrived at UP again. Hello. And my mother. and I'm about to go check out a melt phone, so I will catch you guys later.
Go, Rocky.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Here we are. We are walking to get food and eat. Wait, that's all the same thing. We're gonna go buy stuff and yeah. Somebody else talk.
Peace. Hi.
Hey, what's up?
All right, so yes, that's David.
Kid
Right here. It's David.
I'm David.
This is
Joey Kid Nig.
yeah, Joey. If you can't tell, this is the first episode because I literally am just saying obvious things. We're going to eat and then possibly go get something to eat. Way to go, Rocky, Mr. Ankeny, whatever you know me as. Way to go. Way to go. So, and then I'm just like, here, let's introduce people. That's a good idea. Let's do that. Here we go.
Oh my God, no, we're not leaving.
That's Jenna, the second Jenna.
It just thundered.
And,
Lightning and
Yeah, this is Johnstown. You hear that? That's called rain, and it never rains here, right, guys?
Wait,
Yeah.
guys.
What are those?
There is always, in Johnstown, there's always either...
No, we're not going. I'm not going.
Yeah,
That looks.
That's
how it kind of always looks in Johnstown.
I mean, that looks
At
average,
least
but
in my experience there.
Why is this place real?
It sucks.
it's just on a mountain.
Dude, I'll buy a pizza 2 nights in a row if that'll be okay for the 45.
Yeah, dude.
Can we order a pizza?
Domino's.
Sweet.
I'm about to order one.
Go to our room and chillax
That sounds great.
while it rains.
Were you in the room?
In Johnstown, there's all...
I'm trying to figure out what to do, I think, at this point. And I'm like, well, for the content, we need to go to this place and do the thing. It really didn't matter. And we didn't actually order pizza that night. We did end up going.
There's either a 50% or 100% chance of rain.
True.
Because it's either raining or about to rain.
Raining or about to rain. 100% true.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
Wait, can we go inside? Really?
Yeah, sure.
All right, never mind. Change plans. So like I gave my phone away for the first time and let somebody film me doing stuff. So there we're in, I don't even know, it looks like a dollar store. And we are fighting with foam pool noodles and swords. And I quote Gino's, who's our brass caption head, his famous line was, cadets, we picked up a few extra minutes. And that means, oh gosh, we're going to be starting early or we're going to be working on something else for longer than we anticipated because we did something much faster than they anticipated, even if it was like 2 minutes faster. And there's always a joke. Is it real world minutes or is it cadets minutes? Cadets minutes are much faster than real world minutes. You can say, oh, you've got about 8 minutes. And we're like, is that cadets minutes or real world minutes? And they'll be like, it's cadet minutes. And we're like, oh man, we got like 2 minutes or a minute and 30 seconds. Like it's just an ongoing thing. So anyways.
Listen.
What?
Calm down,
I'm hitting your
David.
thing.
Calm down.
And we found out David could juggle. Or,
Yeah.
At least I didn't know that, and at least at this point I don't think.
Dude, scratch it. Scratch it. Scratch. Scratch. Scritchy scratch.
So Kyle, that's Kyle. It's also year 2 for him, and he, I guess year 1.5. He came in the middle of 2013 when we had a hole open up, and yeah, Kyle was awesome. He still is awesome. And at this point, he said he was going to say something, and he was like, scratch it, scratch it. And as you'll come to find out, there's not a lot of things I cut out of Rocky Point unless it's like cursing or just things that nobody wants to watch. So.
Do this all day.
This is Nick, everybody.
How you doing?
I mean, he's got style. He's the last piece of the trifecta. If you didn't know, that's our roomies. It's our roomies. So we're about to go head off to a pop talk, first one, and tomorrow we're going to hit the ground running.
What are we doing tomorrow? What do we do tomorrow? Sectionals, man. For the whole time.
Nick and Kyle.
I think it's going to be a lot of sectionals. Subsectionals? Yeah. That's the one.
And that was the end of the first episode.
Bum, bum, bum,
That's how we
bum,
ended it.
ba-da-dum.
Come on, just
So here we are at the day meeting. I'm probably about to explain this like right now, but people are putting on sunscreen. Day meeting. This is before, you know, we wake up at a certain time and then we have breakfast, and then you're supposed to be at the day meeting like right as it strikes whatever the time was, or else your section had to show up like 5 minutes early the next day, and so on and so forth. So yeah, well, I can't remember a time that actually happened because people were on time, but that was the thing. So here we are, putting on sunscreen, getting ready for the day meeting on the first day.
Okay, well here we are, day one at the first day meeting of the season.
I'd say it.
Here at spring training. There's Nick. Get chizzed.
That was our slang for get chiseled, like we're getting ready to get buffed and like become these statues of and works of art, because drum corps makes you fit and tan just by doing it.
I always sit like this.
That posture, though.
Clearly no wide angle lens, so I had to lean back.
So every other day is going to be totally a lot shorter than day 0. So sorry about you. So this is it. Catch you guys tomorrow.
This is not the end of the episode. I thought it was totally the end of the episode. It was not. And Frozen was a big thing at the time, so I'm surprised I didn't get copyright strike for this, but Let It Go is happening, and that's just it.
Still got 3 minutes.
Now the day's over.
All right, so here's Kyle with how the weather was the first day.
It was cloudy and somewhat cold, and then no clouds and really pretty hot. And then cloudy again, but still kind of hot, and then it got cold, and then it was really nice for a little bit. And then we went outside, and then we went to brass block, and then it started to rain, but only a drizzle, and then we went back out brass after it stopped raining. It started raining again like 10 minutes later, and then we went back inside, and it turned kind of nice, but really humid. And then all of a sudden it got super cold, and it looked like we were Lord of the Rings, kind of like in the fog, Misty Mountains kind of stuff. It was very miserable. I was like accosted on all kind of fronts of weather. Other than that, it was a really great day.
Can we just take a minute to appreciate Kyle? Because, I mean, Kyle appreciation second. Like, he is the best at telling stories. He's the best at, if you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, he's the best at being the dungeon master. He is just coming up with narratives and explaining things like that. Kyle is a master at that. So Kyle appreciation, describing the weather on the first day, which was miserable.
Finishing the day off with a hop talk. Bum 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 ba-da-dum.
And I know those cringy intros eventually get replaced with a mellophone version that David Fleer and his lovely Perfect Pitch ended up writing, which eventually was too perfect, and people liked the more real version where we both ended up just singing. Someone sang one part and someone else sang another part, and me and David had the Rocky Point intro that was like there all the way to the end of its running. And then, well, videos for now that I use a clip from the 2015 season where another member of our trumpet section, bass, ends up playing on a really out-of-tune piano, the Rocky Point thing, because he also has perfect pitch. That was actually in Marian Catholic's band room, choir room, when we stayed there in 2015, but he ended up playing it, and I said, woo, afterwards, and I just cut that audio, and now it's my intro, and it works out pretty good, kind of. So, anyways, this cringy version of me doing it alone doesn't last, hopefully, too much longer.
We woke up, had breakfast. We had eggs, biscuits, and gravy. It was quite delicious.
I remember
And
Stevie B sent me to go get Josh
dinner day
one
meeting.
day in Texas.
Then
to get like a mat or something.
we did
or,
suicides
like,
for about 50
him or
yards,
something. And
stretched.
Josh was just like,
Then had a really intense PT session, which afterwards I threw up.
This is Bass, by the way.
Awesome. And then we went to subs, learned some Roosevelt.
He's also the trumpet soloist for this year.
And now we're eating lunch.
At least
that face, that
one of the
face.
trumpet soloists.
That face.
And
Like, just take a moment. Look what everybody's wearing. Like, people are wearing jackets and And some people are wearing like t-shirt, like you had to be ready dressed in layers because as you can see, like the sky looks white and it's just clouds for days, and it's like the middle of May, and some days it's like freezing. There was one day it was like, I remember I flew home for my graduation the year before, and the day I left people said, yeah, it got down to 15 degrees. It was the middle of May. Crazy weather. So when the sun came out, you felt very blessed, and it was actually kind of warm. So you just were prepared for the whole day.
Then we're gonna go to ensemble. Put all of Roosevelt together, and then 4-hour visual block. Probably in the field house because apparently there's a lot of rain coming in.
Do you just go bounce around sections?
Actually, it's very cloudy, very eerie today, so we don't know what to expect.
Helpful for you, or you help them?
And it's day 2.
Day 2. That was Bass.
This makes sense. Like that's what I did with Selena last year. I really went
Right.
until I got a couple of batteries. I was just a battery for a second.
You look like a
So this was cut before, not cut. There was a part of this clip that was cut because we were kind of making fun, like poking fun, not really like, oh, they're terrible, but like just making fun of other drum corps. And then they're like, you can't put that on there. That would look badly for us in the middle of the season. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense, even though we're not really like belittling them. So then we just decided to make fun of cadets. And so this is the clip. Still lunch break, by the way. Look at that slow roll back up.
like that weird 93 shape that they make.
Again,
like,
Kyle. Love Kyle.
the pass
Yeah, the elbow that led to us on the slide. Yep. And that was one of the few clips of like actual music being played that I put in there because I didn't want anybody that, stuff that wasn't supposed to get out. But that was just a little sneak peek of William Tell small ensemble coming back, which hadn't been a thing since 2011, which was the last time, and still is the last time, the cadets have won a world championship. So.
Hi, I'm Kayla, okay? And the weather. Okay, let me listen to you, okay? I want you to listen to me, okay? So
I want you to meet Kayla Ogden. If you haven't before, she is a trip. She, like, later on when this kind of took off, people started to recognize her and was like, I love Kayla. And Kayla is one of the centerpieces of the whole series. I mean, so are a lot of these people, but Kayla, a lot of people still recognize Kayla. So, keep your eye on Kayla. Shane in the background, you may recognize him as the Blue Coats Wink soloist from 2016. He marched cadets with me in 2014, and of course I aged out at cadets at 15. And he's from across the way. He'll tell you about it in Potatoes in just a second.
it's like really rainy outside. It's like,
How long do you think it's gonna last?
so we're in the gym. That's it. That's all.
Guinness is good, man.
Potato.
Okay, so it's day 3 for the color guard, and we learned a lot of work today.
Yeah.
We cleaned a lot today, and we're about to learn drill. We just got our drill numbers yesterday. That's exciting.
We like staged it so they could play with facings and stuff. Yeah.
What else did we do? We're about to do some technique for an hour and a half. Yes.
Technique is important, people.
Technique. This is Lainey.
There she is. Oh, Captain, my captain.
Guard captain. Peggy, what else?
Bye. Bye.
David thought this was going to be a
Alright,
picture.
so here we are at the end of day 3, and here's David with how the day went.
Oh, it was great. We learned drill for the first time, and it was really cool. We have some awesome mellophone body stuff and like a feature, so look for that in the show. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and the last one in the block on the right side, so I'm like the right corner. Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm the last one back, and they're like, he's right in front of me, which completely defeats his whole point. Hilarious.
I'm right in front of you.
You're right in front of me.
Then I'm not the last one back.
Nope,
I
I am.
forget about that.
Yep.
Let's see. I don't have any exciting dots. Like last year, I was all the way on the outside of that block, but
Now, this whole show, I was
long
on
day,
the
we're gonna
end
get
of every
some
single
sleep
form,
now,
which means I was running.
And we will.
in a few minutes,
All
after
over the
we
place.
do our dot books, which we have to do every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So see you
Unscripted.
later.
The whole thing, unscripted.
Rocky. This is beautiful after a long day.
Yeah, we kind of, because in drum corps you could. I'm gonna pause it there. You could eat, anything, everything, and you'd never ever have to worry about gaining any weight. You're burning a gajillion calories, what it feels like every day, and you just never had to worry about any of that. So we kind of went crazy in the snack department, and Gatorade is super important. And we had little mini fridges in our dorm rooms at the time during spring training, which is like band camp, but a whole month long, in case you didn't know about it. Eventually, we had what was known as the Leaning Tower of Pizza. We would order pizza many nights in a row. It was me, Nick, and David were all roommates, and as you probably heard earlier, we were known as the Trifecta. Still kind of are. But we would order it, and eventually we just kind of kept the boxes and stacked them all the way up through spring training, and we tried to reach the ceiling. The things we do to stay sane during drum corps. Okay, let me look at the comment section really quick. Yes, Avery, I know Frozen 2 is on Disney Plus. I watched it the other day. It's good, not as good as the original, but it's not like most sequels are bad, but it's not bad. So, yeah. Okay, continuing on.
Bum 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 ba-da-dum.
Hi, I'm Stefan Roos. I'm in the horn line. I'm a tuba player. I just did a lot of visual stuff today so far. We learned some drill. Then the weather kind of had its mood swings, as you can see.
I mean, the weather. I'm telling you, Johnstown weather.
And then we were really hungry, so we ate. That's about it.
We also march basics. We also bone basics. And it's cold. Day 4.
Nice and windy.
It was so cold.
Self-explanatory. And that was the new version. That was the new intro that sounded great, but people just didn't like it as much, so we switched it later. This episode of Rocky Point probably has one of the most views early on. This was shared by the Cadets page. And it's not one of the, it's an okay episode. It's terrible quality like all the others, but they shared it, so it's got quite a bit of views.
So, this is my section. They've got some things to say to you.
This is what we learned today.
That was it. That was the whole episode. It was 19 seconds long, and it was just us doing the little mellophone feature dance. Not even all of it. Just part of it. We hadn't learned all of it yet.
Stretch block.
So I wanted to document some things. Kyle's being cool. And Kyle leading stretch block there. Dan was not super happy with me. That was Dan, the last person you saw. Not super happy with me taking video in the middle of stretch block. But the next year we were banned from having phones at all, I think, during stretch or any of that. So, but that year we still could. And then once the day started, we were supposed to put everything up. But there you go.
Here we observe the cadet in his natural habitat.
Kayla front and center again.
I like having fun, so I came to the cadets.
I'm not as funny as I think I am.
Kyle
Talk is done.
And interesting shape. As you can see, the videos have started to take off since the Cadets posted it on their Facebook page. People are all interested in being in them. And
this is what we do every night.
It's not. It's truly not. But you know, they're working on abs up in one of the dorm balconies after rehearsal one day, and I'm like, I'm good. I got beat up enough today. I'm just gonna film this for Rocky Point.
Our drill is really hard today.
I like tuba.
Oh.
But I thought that
I love nachos.
death were caused by monkey pressure. Which I thought was a bad thing.
So it's been a interesting day.
Rocky's really cool. Watch more of his videos. Yo, the weather was really
He's not
nice
wrong.
today. We got breezes. The drill and music played together is pretty nice.
So this is Nikki. She's in the color guard, and she starts the show in a mellophone pod, and we just met.
Yes, we did.
And she's awesome.
Oh, thanks. Because I give really good massages.
It's true, she does. And that's Carla.
Hey. Hey, Carla.
She's in the pit.
If any of my students have heard me talk about Carla, that's Carla. We went to high school together. Probably going to say that in the video in a second. She played, you know, all the key percussionists. She's a percussionist. She was in the pit. As you can see, she had tape on her hands from where she just, you know, just been playing a lot, calluses and blisters and the whole 9 yards. So.
Wait, is that your video thing?
It is. It is my video thing.
Awesome. I get to actually be in one. This is so cool.
All right. Day 7. We've been here a week. We have been here a week. Oh my gosh. Am I tanned yet?
Kind of.
Finals ready? I don't know.
I got them tan lines going off to my gloves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoop, whoop. Catch you guys tomorrow.
All right, we're in the loft. This is one of my favorite clips of all time. So you know, Allison is sitting on the washers, and we had just finished doing the mellophones and finished our dot book test, where we memorize all of our dots. We have to, you know, get it right, and she grades them, and then we grade each other's, and then she checks it off, and then we're good. But I say we're in the laundry room, and well, here we go. Laundry room. Okay.
But we're not doing laundry!
We just had our first dot book test.
And Bella did really well.
I passed because I wrote down my dots, Kayla's dots, Allison's dots. I passed even though I copied all of Jenna.
Okay, pause. I'm gonna look at the comments section. Sorry, the chat. We've got Emily Woody's got, let's see, both Frozen's on DVD. That's okay, no shame. Let's see, Frozen 2 is better. Also, my cardboard keyboard is working really well. That's great. I love a cheap, effective solution. Let's see, I relate to the paper instruments on a spiritual level. Okay, and then Emily also says, do you still have that yellow hat? I mean, don't you still have that yellow hat? And the thing is, yes. I actually bought 2 of them. I bought them both at the same time before I started, and it was bright yellow. I wore one, and then for this season, I put on the second one, and you know, I was gonna try to have like a hat per season. They were all exactly the same, and just try to, you know, see how much they faded each season. Well, then we get to my final season of Cadets in 2015, and they don't sell those hats anymore. I mean, it's just a basic starter yellow hat. I could find them at Walmart, couldn't find them anymore, couldn't find them online. And that was that, and I was really upset because that was kind of like me. And it was also kind of like a really easy way to get called out from the press box, because everybody's going to see every mistake you make because your hat is like bright yellow. By the end of the season, they were like this tan, very, very dull yellow. You probably wouldn't even know they're yellow if you didn't know that they started yellow. So for the 2015 season, I ended up re-wearing the 2013 hat, and the one that I currently wear now all the time to rehearsals is the 2014 hat, which is the hat that you are actually watching in this video. So, history lesson for some of my students. Continuing on. Oh, and it just triggered Siri. That was weird. Okay, let's continue on.
Hi. I actually have a voice, kind of, sort of. That's the visual.
You know why I'm
I'm bummed, Rocky.
Why are you bummed, David?
Because I have to go home to take a final and I'm missing movie night.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah.
Tonight is movie night.
Come back.
Like tomorrow. What basics?
Movie night was a huge deal because it was like, you hear people in drum corps talk about free days at Cadets. You don't, or at least back then, you didn't get a free day. You got a free few hours. So you got like the evening off. So like you'd eat lunch, you'd do a brass block, and then at about 3 or 4 o'clock, you'd go back in, you'd shower, and then you'd have from like 5 o'clock on to kind of do whatever you wanted. And we'd go to the movie. You'll see later in a minute. And that was that. David had to go home and take a final. I think this was his senior year, so we had to fly out and then fly back. Bummer. But it was our one chance to actually, feel like normal people and stop wearing like athletic, sweaty clothing and feel like we weren't just doing the same thing over and over again every day, especially after a week. What day is this? Oh gosh, I don't even know what day this is. This is day 8. So yeah, it'd been a week. And Jenna, right here, oddly enough, she went on. She's also prevalent in Rocky Point, wanting to always be in front of the camera. She has gone on, and now she is a news reporter. So that's kind of cool. How you kind of see how people kind of, I don't know, transition into what they do in the real world. So, continuing on though.
Yeah, we just got done with some basics. We're taking 5, and we are about to go do some drill. Lincoln Part 2.
5 entire minutes. Hopefully.
Real minutes, not cadet minutes.
Like I mentioned earlier.
Real minutes are like 3 cadet minutes, I think.
I think so, something like that.
And it didn't rain. No rain. It's awesome.
Now you've just jinxed it.
That's what I was gonna say. You jinxed it. Look at us.
Hi, I'm Kayla. We're going to the movies because we have a free day.
Quotes,
More like
air
a free
quotes.
2 hours.
It's
like 6 hours.
It's awesome though because we get to like relax our bodies and like take a break.
Either go
eat.
see an angry regression movie or a comedic relief movie or the other movies that were listed.
This is Bess. He's a trumpet.
I don't know how we got onto the dinosaurs.
Another video. This is Shane. He's Irish.
Irish.
Godzilla!
We all look like real people.
That's
and we're
It's true.
And I look normal too. Somewhat.
Not really. You look like you always look.
Anybody else?
I'm actually on
Oh, that's a good picture.
And we're walking by.
I was about to say, no, this is not how drum corps kids just kind of like walk to the movies in one giant line like this. We were actually getting a police escort because we don't have enough vehicles to, and it's just right down the hill. If you were to look, like right, if you go down this way and then go down a little bit further, it's behind these trees where the giant complex is that has like food and movies and all that stuff. So no, we were getting a police escort down there.
A police escort to the movies. Gotta love just another day of drum corps.
How's it going?
Going pretty good. Where are we, guys?
Notice the stacks of Gatorade from Walmart on the back. Back to
Yeah, we just
Not
enjoyed our first free day, and by free day we mean, of course, like 5 hours. And we're at Subway now.
Everyone's trying to get on these famous blogs.
It's true, like they're becoming really popular.
My subscriber
So,
count went up
what
to
is it
like
you had to show
500
us?
after this
Yeah,
whole
so my
thing
phone
took
case.
place.
I got it from a website called Redbubble. It's a mellophone player from Pacific Crest, I believe, who was using it to fundraise for this season's tour fees. And yeah, it was very cool. Unfortunately, I don't believe they sell them anymore, but still a cool phone case.
One that did 1 year, two that did 2 years. Went to Walmart.
Yeah.
Got some Gin Munch on. Got a bunch after of them. Long days of rehearsals.
Probably the most amount of
$1.
snacks I've ever bought in my whole life has been when I was on drum corps.
Gatorade. Lots of Gatorade. We saw Godzilla.
All right. Final words for the day.
I love you all. Watch more of Rocky's Point.
Yes, Rocky's Point.
See you guys tomorrow.
Okay, Okay, so it's really funny that he mentioned Rocky's Point. If you remember, I had debated, not debated, you don't remember this. I remember when I was coming up with the idea of doing this series, I was throwing around some names. Like Rocky Point Holiday is a well-known concert band piece that is difficult, and it's great and awesome. And it's what the Cadets ended up winning their first world championship with back in 1983, or one of the pieces that they did. And it's the one they're most known for because it was there in the finale, and they did a Z-pull, and it was a big deal. So, Mellophone's got all these crazy runs. Anyways, Rocky Point made sense because my name was Rocky, and it was the Cadets, and this is the old logo before I kind of got told I couldn't use, like, and I was designing the t-shirts for the channel and everything, and they said I couldn't use the Cadets logo, so I kind of had to reinvent the wheel here just a little bit and still make it make sense. So anyhow, I was throwing around some ideas for names, and Rocky's Point was one of them, and I think Nick came up or liked that better or something. I remember Nick was involved with it, and it just sounded like a soap opera, like a really terrible soap opera, like, now we return you to Rocky's Point. Something like that. Or if you remember the Amanda Show, if you're old enough, they had like this terrible, laughable soap opera-y thing, Moody's Point, that was just ridiculous. That's kind of what I thought of. So Rocky Point Vlog became a better thing. So here we go. Day after the movies. Bass has heard
night
himself.
last night. Went to a movie. Also saw Godzilla. And then we went to Walmart. And as you can see, a lot of the core members found America apparel. So I think we're gonna make Thursday. You're gonna get with.
They're video vlogging, man.
So if you've heard me talk about Steve Bentley, that was him. He was the Melvone tech back in 13 and moved over to trumpets in 14. And you just heard Travis Larson speak, and he's now the brass caption head at the Blue Stars, excuse me. And he was working mellophones that year. It was a crazy year, crazy mix-up of staff people, but our show was called Promise: An American Portrait. I'm repping some of the merch right now. Yeah, we had 3 different presidents, 3 different cummerbunds that we eventually had. So it was about Lincoln, it was about Roosevelt, and it was about Kennedy. And on a piece called An American, or what was it called? Oh my gosh. A Lincoln Portrait, or Lincoln Portrait actually was the name of it, by Copeland. And we just kind of took that, and there's actual narration in the piece, and we used it for Lincoln as it was, but then also added in these other presidents from different times and kind of made it into this big patriotic thing. So we had Star Spangled Saturdays eventually became a thing. He was mentioning Thursdays here. We hadn't really figured it out yet, but...
I need you to get with Alex and make sure all the articulations are, he's got all the new articulations, all the changes, and all of the music.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyways, so I think we're gonna make Thursdays Patriotic Thursday. Like, a lot of the core members will be wearing American t-shirts, and then in my neck of the woods, you can see I have completely messed up my foot and my knee at the same time.
Frozen reference. You get it? You get it, chat? Okay, here we go.
On my right foot. So I have to spend the next 5 to 6 days icing and wrapping, taking care of it.
Thanks for the update, Bass.
I love spring training.
Mm-hmm.
It's another good episode right here.
Hello.
Yeah, it's about right.
This is the day meeting. Meeting breakfast is the day meeting. This is Corbin. That's Corbin. That's Zach. That's Graham.
You guys know me.
That's Jaden.
Hi. I got my shoes. They were taken from me, but I got them. No, don't put that in there. Don't put that in there.
A common theme you'll see with Kayla is that she'll say, "Don't put it in there," and I'll be like, "It's staying in the vlog. You've messed up."
It's staying in there.
And Showmaster David.
Huh?
The kid who can play anything because he has freaking perfect pitch dies.
Yes, David. Gave me like one of your no smiling at the cadets. We don't have fun.
Can I play baseball?
Why are you smiling?
I thought so.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
All the small things. Work sucks.
Kyle.
I know.
Oh,
He
Kyle.
runs his finest. Today is day 10, guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is day 10. I was looking for the wrong thing. Yeah, it is day 10.
Why am I still doing this?
I'm on the up and up. I'm never giving up. I'm never giving up. Giving up on life.
I know I'm capable.
Dan is like, I'm done. What are these people? Who are these people? So, this is clearly not where I just was. I flew home because I said I graduated the year before. I was flying home to see my little sister graduate. And unfortunately, I had so many delays and flight delays. I had to like stay in. I think I went to a hotel. They had to put me up, and then I came back the next morning, and then sent me a flight back. It was awful, and I missed her graduation. I missed it because the flight. I mean, the airport's like an hour away from where it was happening in my hometown, so that's that. But needless to say, I came back and looked at the dots because the dots got posted on the Facebook group. All the drill did, so I tried to learn my drill on Bassett's practice field at the time, where I was currently working. So came back for a day and learned those dots by myself. I ended up learning them the wrong direction because I can't read, but that's fine. It made it a lot easier. I just knew I had to reverse the direction versus kind of going in blind the next day with everybody else when I got back. So yeah, here I am. My sister's graduating or has graduated, and I'm just gonna learn drill at home.
Guys, so here I am on the field. Wait, I'm not in Johnstown anymore. I'm actually back home. Today was my sister's graduation, my one and only sister's graduation, so I flew home to
love that wind,
see her graduate. But due to so many cancellations and flights, I missed all of it, and it makes me very upset at the airlines. But I did get to spend some time with her and my family today, and that's really exciting. And I figured, since Austin's been posting the drill on our Facebook pages, to where I can get to it, I figured I'd come out here on the practice field at the high school that I teach and the high school that I graduated from, and I would learn this drill.
Love that wind.
Have an idea of where I'm going, and it'll help when I get back to Johnstown tomorrow. So I'm not really sure what the cadets are doing right now. I'm pretty sure they've marched and playing and probably doing both at the same time. So we'll catch up with the rest of the cadets tomorrow. I'm gonna start learning some of this drill I missed. Not a whole lot, but we'll catch you guys tomorrow.
I don't think that was a wink. I think I blinked. It was weird. Okay, so now you'll notice that Rocky Point is in 16:9. I had time to go back to my house in this time and fix the aspect ratios and get everything set up the way it was supposed to be set up from the beginning. And 4:3 was not supposed to be a thing if you know anything about video and aspect ratios. But now it's much more full screen if you really want me to kind of dumb it down. While we wait on that, let's look at the chat. All right, we got from Paper Bros 05. I see a hello. Avery retracted a message, probably something about roasting myself. You tuned into that? Yep, probably did. Tebow's on here. What's up, Tebow? How's it going? Joseph, hey, what's up, man? I'm glad you could join us. So back to this. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm not gonna be doing this for too much longer. We're gonna kind of do this in increments because I feel like we're all gonna be quarantined for just a little bit longer anyway. maybe longer than we all want. But here we go. I believe, what is this? Day 12? Day 12. Back in Johnstown.
Hi.
David and that Gatorade. So that's
So
MK.
we had our annual.
So, let's see. This is David. This is MK. They're now getting married. That's kind of, they're engaged. That's really crazy. But yeah, that's crazy. Okay, anyways, we're just gonna keep going with that.
Uniform etiquette meeting tonight.
So much to know.
Yeah,
Uniform
I know.
etiquette is a huge deal in cadets.
Some of that. I already know the stuff.
Yeah, good times. So, please tell us about your days.
Well, we've got about how much of the drill do we have on the field? Like 4.5 minutes about? I think ballparking it like 4.5 minutes. I have a feeling that, sunburns.
Sunburn. That's kind
Yep,
of theme.
that's
Aloe
sunny day in Johnstown.
is there.
Like,
Oh yeah,
really?
and again, like I mentioned, Johnstown, the sun just pops out and people are like, I didn't put on any sunscreen before this block. Oh darn. So yeah, that kind of happens. So be prepared.
Completely sunny day.
Ever.
Ever.
In the
All
history of
history
Johnstown. It's never happened. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my sunburns too.
I have some weird spotty ones on the front, but they're mostly on the back. Because of arc, we were facing away from the sun.
Yep.
Germany sunburns are always on your hands, but they're starting to tan over. So now just this part of my hand is tan and nothing else.
I have a glove tan problem. You can't really tell in this photo. Slash video.
It's a video. Come on.
Glorious.
Come on, Rob.
Yeah.
Watch tan.
Yeah, that's week 2.
Yeah, what is...
Week 2, it's like day 12.
Yeah, it's
Day
day
12.
12. Yeah.
This is my first full week. I've been here
Hey,
7
Karthik.
days now.
Congratulations, you've
I've
survived.
survived a week. Boom.
And with that, we'll leave you guys until tomorrow. I thought David was gonna wave. Oh, okay, there we go. All right.
Yeah, uniform etiquette, Aiden. Everyone loves it. It's huge. I will never forget my first uniform etiquette night. And why does it keep triggering Siri? That is so weird. Okay, continuing on.
Thank you.
Oh hey.
Oh my God,
It's Memorial
it's
Day here
Brandon.
at the Cadets. We just got out of visual block and learned the rest of the prologue, which is the transition to our second president. So yeah.
Wait, can you guys smile?
So yeah, that's about. Here's Andrew.
Hi.
Andrew Tomaska, the man, the myth, the legend. Didn't know it. I had never met him at this point, and really, Brandon was just like, "This is Andrew Tomaska," and he just kind of popped into the shot. And I didn't know it, but we were going to be seat partners for the tour portion of the season, and he is the best seat partner I ever. If I give that award, like we still, in fact, this year, assuming everything's good, we're gonna go to DCI World Championships and kind of experience that. And before I started teaching full time, before I had all that, was still in college, we would go back. It's kind of like our yearly reunion. Is we kind of got to meet up and we kind of got to talk and see what had been happening. He's a graphic designer. And it was just a lot of fun. And I'm sure there are vlogs here on the channel from when I went to those World Championships. But I didn't get to go this past year because it was job overlap. But this year, I'm assuming that everything goes well with DCI and Corona has wrapped up at that point. Then I plan on going again this year. So
We're in line to get some food.
Yeah. Getting some hot dog and cheeseburger day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And baked beans.
We'll catch you guys later.
you can't see it. Literally monsooning outside. I know this camera quality. It's like literally just like pouring. We used it as a verb. Just monsooning outside, like wind, rain, gushing. I'm telling you, Johnstown, rain and cold. If you see the sun, it's a rare feat. Oh my gosh, Siri was
Currently monsooning outside.
This was a little staged, can you tell?
Travis Larson, Cadets Mellophone Tech.
Administrator of
Say hi, Mom.
Telephone Punishment.
Say hi, Mom. Say hi to your mom.
Again, now he teaches.
That's
he's
for
a brass
you,
captain at Blue
because he
Stars.
talks
So.
to us and tells us that you watch them.
She does.
Bye, Mom.
Kendall.
Oh.
Here it
Not quite.
He just showed it to you.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm sitting in unison with my past self.
See, there's nothing.
I want to see it.
Surprise party in the basement of one of the doors.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gary. Happy birthday to you.
Hi, I'm Zach Sullivan.
Zach's also a band director now.
Florida. Oh no! We had a little incident with the van on the way to the airport the other night. One of our good admins, Marcus George, hit a deer en route to the airport.
I'm telling you, nothing but the most exciting stories for Rocky Point. I mean, when you do the same thing every day, any slight variation or any story that would normally just kind of be is a big deal. So I covered a lot of them.
What's going on right now, everybody? What's going on? MK's always so excited to be on these videos.
Basketball game. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, look, they're going to go look at the video.
Touchdown.
They need this win to keep
When you're on
going.
tour, a lot of times you don't know what's happening in the real world.
Joe, do you know what?
So,
do
like,
you know what happened in the real world today?
I
I don't know what day it is.
It's like we're the same person.
That's the thing about drum corps, folks. You don't know what day it is, what's going on in the real world. I just found out that Maya Angelou died today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he did, right there. Got his hand. That's off the face. They don't. They're reviewing it right now.
Somehow the end of that got.
Welcome to the Cadets, where we have awesome athletic trainers that help you get drugs when you get hurt or need to get hurt to help yourself heal.
Don't do drugs. Till then.
I had an
Unless it's
ingrown
for medical
toenail,
reasons.
and it's now gone.
Proper use. Prescribed by a doctor.
We're getting better.
Getting better.
Yeah, medical team is a huge deal on tour because the stuff we do is kind of crazy, and we can injure ourselves even though we stretch and we warm up and we're ready all the time. Injuries just kind of occur from. I mean, we do it for almost 12 hours a day, or maybe around 12 hours a day. It's strenuous on your body. So this is why if you're going to do a drum corps, before the season starts, before spring training happens, you need to condition before you get there. Because if you don't, then it's your body. It's going to be too much on your body, and I've seen so many people sent home because they've injured themselves to a point that they can't heal enough time, and they call in somebody else to fill that spot. So yeah, I mean, if you're asking me my advice, since none of you are really talking except for the chat, I would say you need to be able to run a 5K in under 30 minutes before you move into spring training if you're doing a drum corps. Bottom line. If you can do more, fantastic. But make sure you're working on strength as well as all the muscle groups and running and endurance. Don't focus on just one.
On top, yeah, check on top.
Late night prop crew stuff and scaffolding.
Oh yeah, so this year I decided I was going to be the prop crew captain.
Putting up the stage.
Did it for the next year too. I really don't know what I was thinking.
Narrator, the narrator's driving.
If you haven't seen the show, you should really watch it. You can see all the props in action that we have to take care of. Small crew. Here it is. We finally finished it. This is after rehearsal, guys. We do rehearsal and then we do this. This stage was actually too tall, I think.
We got one more.
I think we had to cut it down by like 2 feet.
We're on the prop! Okay, here we go. This is, I'm trying to, I don't know how this is going to work, but,
just it's a bunch
yeah,
of
we're on top of it.
It look pretty eventually in the end.
And I think
So high.
so high up. It's gonna be shorter than this, but this is our temporary.
Give him those eyebrows.
You can see how tan I'm getting because my teeth look whiter.
Alright, watch the edge.
Alright, guys.
All
Down.
right. Later.
And that was it. I think we left it up and we just put the ramps down. But those are heavy ramps until they put wheels on them, especially. Ugh.
Alright guys, it's been another long day here. We've actually backed up on the Rocky Point uploads because I haven't had the internet to do it. Found some today here in the lobby, but it's extra slow. So it could be a little while before you see this. So I'm sorry if anything's late. But at least we're still filming them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what he said. That's true.
I was not so lucky.
So also you'll notice that Rocky Point, at least in the 2014 days before I switched over to iPhone and filming it natively and then putting it into iMovie, is that everything is mirrored. Like people that send you Snapchats and everything on their shirt is backwards. That's a similar kind of thing that was happening. So a lot of times we'll look like we're sitting on a place on a bus, but we're actually sitting on the other way, or things aren't written correctly if I'm filming with the front-facing camera, but if I do it with the other camera, it's fine. It's just different. The video program I was using, which as you can tell from the watermark is Viva Video, just never flipped it back. After it was filmed, it just stayed that way. So, oh well.
The weather was really good today.
It was really nice.
It rained a little bit.
Where it was just as
Not really.
shitty.
Nothing too bad.
No. How much of the show do we have on the field?
We're most of the way. We've got all of the beginning and Lincoln, and we are through the first major part of Roosevelt. We're about to open the second major part of Roosevelt, but it's shorter than the first. They're probably like that, but less time.
Exactly. Because we're marching really, really, really fast.
I mean, we are not the best entertainers of everything that's happening on day 17. Yeah, it's just us. And then showing off a shirt that we can't even read
Even those backwards.
because we did not. Oh yeah, it's backwards. See,
Yes,
used to
you did.
agree with old me all the time.
And Christine.
And Christine's also supporting the same.
Oh.
Look at the shirts. They're supporting the same thing.
With my shirt. Sit down with my shirt.
University of Maryland. What?
Yeah. University of Maryland.
I know Jerry Bean was like, yeah. That's why I said bye.
You're taking so long.
It's like, we need that.
That's alright, this was not.
Alright. Okay. Let's see. Let's do. Let's try to get to day 20, and then I'll call it for the first episode. We're on day 18 right now.
Hey there, welcome to Rocky Point. That's it. That's all I got. I got no more Rocky. Stop videotaping me. Seriously. Videotape Kindle. What up, what up? She's practicing for her narration tomorrow. She's excited.
The narration from the drum majors ended up getting cut, and it was just Jordan, the guy. He marched Mellophone in 2012, and then came back in 2014 as the narrator. So, anytime you see Jordan from here to the end of the season, and even into 2015 when he showed up at shows, was awesome because we had that similar connection because we both marched Mellophone.
Excited. We're all excited.
I'm making my vocal debut with drum corps.
Sorry.
My voice will forever be in
Nope,
drum corps.
it didn't happen, Kendall. I'm sorry.
the Cadets Drum and Bugle Band 2014.
Summer Diddle Band.
Summer Diddle Drum and Band Horn Band. I'm getting excited. Yeah, Alex.
Also, Jordan for Prom King.
Oh yeah, so
I deserve it. I've been here for like 12 days.
he didn't even start with us. We ended up finding, we did a request for it, and then we found Jordan. It's like, oh, he's already marched cadets. Let's make him the narrator, and he has a good voice. Yeah, prom is a thing that happens at cadets where you go and it's just a night of. Rehearsal finishes, I think, normal time, and then you go and you have a good time partying, and it's pretty close to the end of spring training, kind of like a celebration of, hey, you made it, it happened, or you've almost made it, and we're almost done with spring training. It's just a good time to dress up and go and have fun and dance and eat food and socialize with people when they're not sweaty and you're not rehearsing. So, continuing on, this is day 19. I believe this is Cadets History Night, which is, if you're a cadet and you're watching this, you know that is super amazing. Notice how I'm never doing any of these extra workouts against my will?
That's right. You know what tonight is?
Just filming them.
Tonight is History Night at the Cadets.
Actually, why do
History Night! So much history. I got better coverage, I think, in 2015.
Did you really?
But you can kind of see some of the old pictures, the old programs, old photographs. At this point, I'm not even saying anything. I'm just kind of walking around. History Night hasn't officially started. You get there and you get to wander around and see all these amazing things. It's Scotty, the core historian, who marched back in the 50s. He's right there. Oh, you missed him.
Okay, so we just finished up History Night.
He's interviewed next year in 2015. But Scotty's the core historian. He marched in the 50s with cadets, and he always just has all this stuff and makes a new slideshow every year. At the end of every year, there's last year's show, and it just shows how the cadets has improved and done its thing for the past 85 years. So
here's Drum Major Kendall.
Hello everyone. Like Rocky said, we just finished History Night. It was super cool. As you can see, if you want to shift the video, there's lots of pictures.
I already got clips of that.
Okay. There's lots of pictures everywhere from all across the years, which is super awesome. Scotty put together a really great video that shows little snippets of our history and of our 3-year winning streaks and everything. And we got to see the full run of last year's show, and it was really good. Yeah.
Alright. Well, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Great night here, cadets.
Bye!
See ya.
And last but not least, for this part 1, day 20. Here's Kayla again.
Hi, Mom! Kayla, you're there. Hi, we're about to do sectionals.
This is Jenna.
Hi, I'm Jenna. Hi. Oh, look, it's the baritones. Hey, baritones. Want to be in the Rocky Point? Say hi.
Hi, Rocky.
Hi.
What's up?
Show Jay.
This is Jay Bocook.
Okay, oh my gosh. Hey, any band kids out there ever played anything by Jay Bocook? I know some of my kids played, oh my gosh, what is that piece? At Dawn They Slept. That's by Jay Bocook. This is Jay Bocook, and he arranged the cadet music back in the day, and now, I guess as of 2020, he's arranging music for the cadets again. I love his arrangements. They're classic. So here is Jay. And the Mellophones had this thing about wanting to know the middle names of everybody that came by, or at least we had a phase, or maybe it's just, I don't remember exactly, but it was a phase we had. So we're trying to get Jay to give us exclusive content not found anywhere else on the internet, and we're like, we want Jay's middle name. We wanted everybody's. We were guessing people's middle names. We wanted people's middle names, and here we go.
Buddy.
He writes our music. Jay, tell the friends what your middle name is.
Oh, that's a secret. No, it's not. Alexander.
There you go. Yay!
Here at the Cadets,
Kendall,
we like to know
what's
each
your
other's
middle name?
Kendall, no.
Kendall Beth. It's Kendall Beth.
Is it really?
It's Beth.
Yes, it is.
Kendall Beth for you.
We don't know if that's
What his
confirmed
middle
or not.
name is.
Craig Lewis.
Craig Harry.
See, we're just
Craig
guessing.
Lewis. It
Is
just
it
has
Lewis?
to be.
We're just,
Oh, yeah, it's probably-
whatever sounds right.
Yeah, Craig Lewis.
Craig.
Wait, are you being serious?
And that is the anticlimactic ending of part 1. We've been at this for around an hour, so I think that's enough reminiscing for now. I'm guessing there's probably going to be about 4 parts, unless this kind of speeds up, because there's about 80 to 90 episodes in the first season. But we're all stuck at home, so tell your friends if you liked it, if you got comments, if you got anything. Please don't hesitate to leave them. Let me know what you want me to do different. I can't really do a green screen. That'd be fun, but I'm not quite there yet. My computer is keeping up with this, and I'm happy about it that we haven't had anything happen. So it's been fun hanging out with you guys. Let me check the comment section one more time. Let's see. Everyone loves uniform. Yep, already read that. Okay. Miss you, Mr. Ankeny. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. And miss you too. Hope everything's going well for you in the real world. Let's see. Don't even travel. Let's see, the county to have a clue what's going on in life. Okay, well, yeah. Avery, I'm sitting with my cat and he really likes watching this. Well, good. I hope you have too. But you're very. You like to roast people, so you're probably going to say you hated it. And then that's it. That's all I got. So it's been fun. Invite more people next time. We'll be continuing through this, and eventually, if it really is something that people enjoy, we'll do 2015 too, and kind of go back and look at that. So it's been fun. Thanks, guys, and I guess until next time, and if I can find the button here, we will catch you guys later. Bye.